Hello everyone. Welcome to SecPod's Now product webinar series, The Art of Managing and Securing Endpoints. Thank you for joining this session in your busy schedule. Today we are in the fourth week of the webinar where we are going to cover about endpoint management. So in the previous sessions, we saw about the basics of Now and we covered the functionalities of Now patch management. Followed by that, we saw about vulnerability management, and in the last webinar, we saw in detail about complaints management. And today's webinar is going to be all about how to securely manage endpoints using Senana. And I hope you're able to hear my voice and view the presentation well. If any issues, please do let us know so that we can look into it. Let me introduce the presenters for today's webinar. I'm Dikshita from the product marketing team. Along with me, we have Aldrin, one of our lead product specialists.
Hello, everyone.
Hi, Aldrin. Let us take a quick look at today's agenda. So we are going to start about Sentinel endpoint management in brief, and followed by that, Alden will be explaining us how Sentinel endpoint management architecture works, and he will tell us what are the major operating systems supported by Sentinel endpoint management. And in this important section, that is where we discuss the scenarios and solutions. So in this section, we have handpicked some of the difficult scenarios of endpoint management in day-to-day IT administrators' routine. And Alan will be giving us the solution for these tough scenarios. And he'll also be taking us through a walkthrough of Sena now, explaining us how to handle this scenario. And at the end of the webinar, we will be discussing the questions which is raised during the session. If you have any questions, please do raise them and we will be happy to take them at the end of the webinar. And in today's webinar, we have an exciting product announcement also coming up. Stay tuned with us so that you can know about it at the end of the webinar. Let us begin the session now. So, Aldrin, tell us about Sentinel endpoint management.
Sure, Dikshita. Out of the 6 applications in Sena now, endpoint management is one of the most important applications of Sena now, and personally, it is one of my favorite applications in our product. The Sena now endpoint management tool is very efficient, it's automated, and it has advanced solutions to manage all our enterprise endpoints from a cloud-based single window console. This tool also helps us automate all our day-to-day endpoint management activities with lots of inbuilt features, which will help us achieve complete visibility control and help us perform seamless troubleshooting. Let me tell you some of the advanced capabilities of our tool. Our endpoint management solution helps us monitor a wide range of endpoint parameters. It helps us analyze system health. It helps us troubleshoot remotely. It also helps us for installing softwares remotely and even uninstalling softwares in bulk, and many such activities can be performed in all the connected endpoints.
That's very interesting, Aldrin. So, Aldrin mentioned that that is his favorite solution in Sena now. This is my favorite application too. Let us move on to the next part. So, explain us about the endpoint management architecture, Aldrin.
Oh, well, the architecture of endpoint management is almost similar to all the other architectures you would have seen in the previous webinar. The architecture actually comprises of 3 major components. The first is the interactive Saner dashboard, which helps administrators to perform all the actions. The second one is the Saner agents. These are lightweight processes installed in all the endpoints which are connected to the Saner server. And the last one is the software repository, which holds over 100 preloaded applications which can be installed across various platforms. This repository plays a major role in software deployment process, which is a feature available in our endpoint management application. That's the basic overview of how our Saner endpoint management architecture works, Dikshit.
So, as we saw in our previous webinars, the endpoint management architectures work similar to other architecture. That is, we have the server and the agent, whereas in the endpoint management architecture, we have the software repository, which is currently hosting more than 100 plus software packages. Moving to the next question. What are the major operating systems supported by Sentinel endpoint management?
Saner endpoint management supports the 3 major platforms, which is Windows, Linux, and Mac OS. In Windows, we do support Windows desktop class as well as server class. In Linux, we support TPKG, RPM, and Alpine Linux as well. And Mac OS, from the oldest version to the latest Mac OS 11, which is Big Sur, we do have support from our.
That's nice. So Synology Endpoint Management supports all the major operating systems, including Windows, Mac, and Linux operating systems. So now we are in the interesting part of today's webinar. So in this section, we have taken some of the difficult and challenging scenarios of day-to-day IT administrators' endpoint management routine. Alden will be giving us the solution for these difficult scenarios, and he'll also be taking us through a quick walkthrough on the product, explaining us how to handle these scenarios. Let us see the first scenario now. Bulk software deployment often interrupts users and business, making it more tedious for IT teams. Software deployment is one task IT teams does on a daily basis. That too, if we say some software deployments actually demands being installed on numerous computers, and often they hear a lot of complaints from the end users saying that the software deployment is disturbing them in their productivity and the business is getting on stake. So, what is your thoughts on this, Aldrin, and how do you think we can go about handling this?
I totally agree with you on that, Dikshita. It would be very hectic for administrators to deploy an application in hundreds of endpoints manually. We do have an amazing solution for this in our endpoint management tool. Let me walk you through it. So this is the main dashboard. I hope you can see my screen. This is the main dashboard of Sena now. Here, if you go into this S icon, you'll have an option called EM, which is endpoint management. Oops, sorry. As soon as you log in, when you select an account, you go into endpoint management. So inside the endpoint management dashboard, you have an option called actions. If you go into an actions, we have an option called software deployment. So the software deployment section already has over 100 preloaded application, as I said earlier. So in case if you want to deploy Adobe Flash Player to multiple endpoints, manually it would take hours for the administrator to go and do this manually in every single endpoint. So Senano gives us a solution to do this in bulk. So if you select Adobe Flash Player, for example, and click install, you'll get an option to select the devices and the groups. So if Senano endpoint agent is already installed, you'll have a list of all the devices here. You can go ahead and select those devices, click next. You can select at what time it can be applied. Say, for example, if you want to apply it at a specific date, at a specific time frame, and in case if your application requires a reboot, you can select reboot. You can just create a task and it will be deployed to the endpoint. So if you create it as an immediate task, it will go right away to the endpoints and agent will go ahead and install this application. Now you might have a question. What if I create a task for 10 systems and later on I install 10 additional systems? Should I create a separate task for that? Of course, you'll have to do that if you create with from install option, but we do have an amazing solution for this, which is called software provision. Let me show you how provision works. You are selected an application, and if you click provision, you'll get a list of groups which you can select from. Suppose if you select Windows 10 group and deploy it to Windows 10 group alone, all the devices in Windows 10 will get this application. And later on, suppose you install a new Windows 10 OS, a new Windows 10 endpoint, this application will directly get installed in the endpoint through our agent. Our server will be smart enough to understand that there is a provision task created for this specific group, and we will be able to deploy this application directly over there. Now you might have another question. You already have 100 preloaded applications, and what if the application that I need is not present here? Says you might even have a specific VPN software or any software which you're using in your organization. How do you deploy that? So we do have a solution for that as well. Here, if you go into upload option, you'll be able to upload any exe, MSI, application files, package files, or even for Mac files. Suppose if you want to upload a DMG file, you'll be able to drag and drop here, or you can open the file browser and select the application. In case if you want to upload a specific script, say for example a shell script or a Python script or whatever scripts you need, you can come drag and drop it here, and that specific scripts will go get executed in the endpoints. Another exciting option over here is, in case you have a external software link which you need to go deploy to the endpoints, you can just provide the link here, and our Sanus server will go fetch the application from that specific link and it will go ahead and deploy it to the endpoints. Another exciting feature of software deployment is the uninstall option. In case if you need to uninstall a specific application in all the endpoints, you can do it from here. You can just select an application. I'll just pick 7-zip application here, and it's currently installed in 3 different hosts. You can just select the application, and if you click uninstall selected applications, you'll get an option here to create a task. So here, if you see, you have an uninstall option over here, which means some applications usually use a silent option. Suppose if you create an uninstall task and if there's a pop-up that comes for a user which might disturb them, in such cases, you can select a silent uninstall option right from here. And you can also select the schedule option. If you want to deploy it immediately, uninstall it immediately, you can go ahead and do it. If you want to uninstall it only on a specific date at a specific time, you can select it right here. Also, if you want to reboot the machine after the uninstall, you can go ahead and select that as well. This is how the software deployment works in Now Endpoint Management.
I didn't know it is this easy to install software using Sena now, and thanks for explaining all the exciting features as well. Let us move on to the next scenario now. Allowing free usage of any devices or applications in the network introduces unforeseen risks. This is really true. If you don't have a proper or strict application or device control policy in place, it easily invites more intruders to come and attack the network and leads to more risk. How do you think we can handle this, Aldrin?
That's really true, Dikshita. Most organizations would want to prevent their employees from using specific applications or devices which could cause serious risk to their firm. Let me walk you through how we do it in Sena now. So again, here if you look into the actions option, we have something called application and device control. So if you go into this option, we have few things here. We can either block an application or unblock an application. Likewise, we can disable or enable a device. Suppose if you want to block a specific application, you just select the application here, you select the device and groups here, you just add a name here, and you can create a task which will get deployed, and the specific application will get blocked in the endpoint. Another exciting feature over here is if you want that action to happen immediately, or if you want to schedule it based on a daily, weekly, monthly basis, you can go ahead and do that as well. In case if you want to disable a specific device, say you want to block the USB port or you want to disable a specific adapter, all you have to do is just select those specific device here, select the device again here, and go ahead and select the scheduling options and create the task. One more important feature which I would like to show you here is enforce as a rule, which is in case if the end user figures out a way to enable this device, even though you have disabled it, agent will be smart enough to understand that and go ahead and disable the device as soon as the user makes that change. And if you just select this and create the task, that will be the setting in the endpoint. No matter how many times the end user enables it, Sender agent will go ahead and disable the device. This is how we handle applications and devices in Sender.
It's very interesting, Aldrin. And this feature where you are explaining about enforcing this policy as a rule will be really helpful for IT teams. Let's move on to the next scenario now. Lag in system performance will put productivity at stake and troubleshooting takes forever. This is one other common scenario faced by IT teams every day. Let me say someone is coming up with an issue stating that the system is not performing well, that will really put a serious issue on the productivity, and the troubleshooting often takes forever. What are your thoughts on this, Aldrin?
Definitely, Jukshita. If the system performance is not up to the mark, that would always affect the productivity. And most performance issues can be resolved by clearing junk files and cache from the systems. Let me show you how we do that in Sena Endpoint Management. So again, if you go into actions, you have an option called TuneUp. Inside TuneUp, you have two different options: registry cleanup and system cleanup. Under registry cleanup, you have a bunch of options from clearing the DLL, installers and uninstallers, or even cleaning URLs. You can just select one of the options which you need. You can select the device, and again, you have the same scheduling options here, which you can schedule on a daily, weekly, monthly basis with start and end time as well. And how do we do system cleanup? Here we also have another bunch of options from clearing cache to emptying the recycle bin to clearing temp files. You have all these options over here. And again, you can just select the option and you can just select the specific device and group and you can go ahead and deploy it to the endpoints. And if you want this to happen in a weekly basis, you can just select how many times it should happen in a week. If you want this to happen on a daily basis, you can even do that. So regularly the tune-up happens and the system doesn't go slow again.
This is going to be really helpful for IT teams to clean up their systems regularly and ensure that any issues around system performance doesn't happen in their network. So let us move on to the next scenario now. Implementing required security controls is one crucial part of endpoint management. Along with other endpoint management activities, IT admins also have the responsibility of implementing a certain number of security controls in the user system. And this is really crucial and they can't escape from doing it. How do you think we can handle this, Aldrin?
Well, setting the right security controls is very crucial at any point, Dikshita. Sentinel helps administrators to implement and monitor the required security controls through two different options. Let me show you how we do that in Sentinel. So again, if you go into actions, you have an option called security. Under security, you'll be able to handle the firewall. You'll be able to disable a firewall or enable a policy, or you can set any other settings right here for Windows. You can select the device and you can deploy it to the endpoints. And this is available for all different platforms. When it comes to Linux, you'll be able to even insert your own firewall rules, replace an existing rule. All you have to do is select the option, provide the rule, select the device, and deploy it to the endpoints. And again, you still have the scheduling options right here. Another way of how we do this is through checks. Under checks, you have an option called endpoint protection software. This option helps you monitor the antivirus in your system. Here, if you see, you'll get a complete picture of all the antivirus which is installed in all your endpoints. And you will also have an option to look if the antivirus is running, if it's updated, or in what status it is. So you'll get a complete overview of all your endpoints from the single dashboard alone.
This is really interesting, Aldrin. It is making me think of one quote I saw in the recent days. Having an unupdated antivirus is equal to having no antivirus. So with this feature of Senana, you can easily monitor if the antivirus is updated or not and make sure it's always updated on time. Let us move on to the next scenario now. Managing and regulating system health is a tedious routine IT teams shouldn't skip. This is really true. Maintaining system health on time and making your system is performing and functioning well is an important routine IT teams should consider and we should do it on a regular basis. So what is the solution we have in store for this, Aldrin?
Well, yes, Dikshita, administrators definitely need to keep tabs on the system health and the resources that are being used by all their endpoints. Let me show you the solution we have for that in Sena now. So again here, if you go into checks under endpoint management, you have an option called system health. Inside system health, you can see the entire list of all your endpoints over here, and you can see all the resources available, and you even have live data. So when you click live data, you'll be able to see the live status of your endpoints with all the resources that is being used currently in your endpoint. And this dashboard also gives you the complete picture of all the resources that is being used, starting from the RAM to the CPU usage and to even the hard disk usage. So this is the exact output which you get in a task manager in Windows. If you go into the task manager in performance section, you'll be able to monitor the performance of your endpoint. Here we give a complete overview of that performance for all the endpoints. And here in all this data, if you look at, you'll be able to sort it according to the storage capacity that is full. So this way you'll be able to easily sort all your endpoints and see which disk is full. And CPU usage, you can see which CPUs, which system CPU is taking too much of resources and the RAM which is used. Everything can be sorted and figured out from this single dashboard.
The live data you are showing here is really interesting, Aldrin, and I hope IT teams would really find it interesting. Let us move on to the next scenario now. Rogue processes and services infest network and endpoints. Managing them is crucial. This is once again a very important scenario. Uh, Many processes and services run in an endpoint, and if it is rogue, IT team should really manage them on time and get them disabled. So, Alvin, like, how do you think we can handle this?
Well, administrators will definitely want to control all the processes and services that are running on their endpoints. We do have a solution for this as well. Let me walk you through it. So again, in endpoint management, if you go into action, you have two different options over here. One is process and service. Let's go into process first. So inside process, you have an option to block a specific process or start or stop it manually right from here. All you have to do is select the option that you need, select the application that you need to block, and you can select the devices here and you can select the scheduling options. Also, you have the exciting feature here again, enforcing it as a rule. If the end user manages to unblock this specific application, agent will be smart enough to figure that out and it will go ahead and block that specific process. Likewise, let me show you how we do it in services. So if you need to remove a specific service or start or stop a specific service, you can do all that options right from here. You can select the servers, you can select the specific devices, and you can go ahead and deploy it. And again, this option, all these options which I'm just showing you is available for all three different platforms.
So, this way you can easily manage the services and processes across your endpoints and make sure they don't infest your network and endpoints. Let us see the next scenario now. In a day, numerous actions take place in an endpoint. Monitoring these metrics is necessary. This is really true. Uh, Various actions and activities takes place in an endpoint, and as an IT team, they have to have complete control over them. So, what are your thoughts on this, Aldrin, and how do you think we can handle this?
Sendo actually gives you different ways to keep track of changes and status in your endpoints. There are a lot of different things that keep changing in your endpoints every single minute, and we have different options to handle this. Let me walk you through that. So again, if you go into endpoint management, you have an option called checks. Under checks, if you see down here, you have over 100 checks which are categorized based on different platforms. And all these checks have different functionalities which will help you monitor and manage every single endpoint. For example, say if you go into BIOS, you'll be able to see the status of all the BIOS details of all your endpoints, starting from the BIOS name to the version to the serial number. You have everything over here. Likewise, you have different options here. For example, if you want to look into all the open ports of all your endpoints, all you have to do is click that and you'll get to know all the details right here. The ports which are open across your endpoints will just be listed right here, Dikshita. You also have an interesting feature to look into the BitLocker status. If you go into this, you'll get a complete picture of all your Windows endpoints and you can know wherever the protection is turned on or off in your endpoints.
I can see a lot of metrics in this dashboard, and you can easily monitor any endpoint metrics with Signal. Let us see the next scenario now. Remote shutdown or reboot is an important action IT teams can't skip in the day-to-day routine. This is really true. If they, let me say, if they're troubleshooting any issues or something, or if they're updating a software or whatever it takes, remote shutdown or reboot is one common routine IT teams has to execute on their end user machines. And is there any easy way to do it, Aldrin?
Yes, Dikshita, we do have an option for that as well. Definitely, administrators would want to shut down or restart their systems during a scheduled maintenance. Let me show you how we can do that from Sena now. Here in Sena now, if you go into Actions again, you have an option called System. Inside System, you have three different options. From setting a host name to rebooting or shutting down a device, all you have to do is select the specific option. Say if you want to reboot a device, you just select that option and you'll be able to give in a message here. Why do we need this message? In case if you're creating a reboot task and if your end user is actually using the system, if you don't give any message, you might not even know why your system went down. So if you given a message here, say that your system is going to go down in few minutes, the end user will be aware and he'll be able to save all his tasks. And this option is used to select the time after which the reboot task will start. Say you give a message as saying that your system will reboot in 5 minutes, and here you select 5 minutes. After 5 minutes, agent will be restarting that system. You have to select the devices here, and you can just select the schedule options here, and it will go ahead and deploy it to the endpoints. Most IT administrators would want to do this on a weekly or monthly basis. Especially weekly basis, they'll be able to select weekends right here because most of the weekends their users are not going to be using the system. They'll be able to schedule it right here and they can deploy it to the endpoints. And likewise, we do provide it across all different platforms right here for Windows, Linux, and Mac.
This is really interesting, Aldrin. So easily you can perform remote shutdown or reboot across your endpoints using CNN. We'll see what is the next scenario now. Configuring network settings on multiple endpoints at a time is complex. In a part of an IT infrastructure, it is very necessary that the endpoints meet the network settings or certain important network settings are configured inside the endpoints. So, Alden, like, how do you think they can get this done using CNN?
Yes, it's not an easy task to manually configure network settings across an organization for all the endpoints, Dikshita. We do have a solution for this as well. Let me show you the options that we provide from Senano. So again here into actions, you have an option called network. So under network, we have different options here from adding an ARP entry to flushing your ARP entries to even setting a static IP address. You have everything here. Once you select the option, you'll be able to put in the IP address here and the DNS service details and select the device and you can send it to the endpoint. Another exciting feature we have over here is block domain. Especially if some organization want to block a specific website or a specific domain, all you have to do is enter the domain name right here, select the device, and deploy it to the endpoint. And again, you do have an option to enforce this as a rule. So even if the end user figures out a way to unblock the domain, agent will be smart enough to go ahead and block that specific domain. That's how we do it in Senana, Vikshita.
That's nice, Alden. So, as Alden mentioned, we have a lot of network actions which you can manage in an endpoint and you can make use of these. We'll see the next scenario now. Insightful reports are essential to make strategic endpoint management process changes. Without a proper report in hand, we can't analyze and understand what we are doing right and what we are doing wrong. So reports play a crucial part in any IT administrator routine. And so, Alden, like, what is the solution we have in store for this?
Of course, Dikshita, after all the tasks the administrator has just performed, he would definitely need a complete report which will show the complete actions that he has performed in all his endpoints. And we have an amazing reporting feature in Sentinel. Let me show you how it is. Here, again, if you go into the dashboard, to the left, if you come here, you have an option called reports. If you click into reports, we do have two different options. One is a already saved report, a predefined report from Sena now. If you go here under canned reports, you can see endpoint management report. If you click that, this is a predefined report, predefined template basically, which will already have stuff which are mostly used by administrators from the list of devices which are newly added, the tasks that he has created, and the device detail summary. The administrator will get a complete coverage of all the tasks that he has performed right here. Another cool feature over here is in case the administrator wants to create a custom report, suppose he doesn't want this report which we are given here and he wants to create another report with more details, all he can do is just click create a new report, click the report APIs over here and scroll down to endpoint management. If you come into endpoint management, you have over 100 reporting features right here. All you have to do is come here, select the device that you, I mean, the report API that you need, and you can just drag and drop it right here, and you get the report over here. It is as simple as that. And once you have done this, you can just click this download option to export this report as a PDF. Or if you want this report in your email, you just have to click this email option, put in your email address, and click send. This report will go ahead and get sent to your email address that you just put here. Also, you can save this report API. Once you have saved this report API here, you just have to enter the report name and click save. Once you have saved the report, it will be listed down here. So until here, we saw the canned reports, which are the predefined reports. And whichever report you create manually will be listed under custom reports. So whichever report you need to be created separately for a separate group of endpoints, you can create it right here and you can come and open it anytime you want. Another cool and exciting feature we have over here is backing up of reports. In case if you want to back up your reports regularly, all you have to do is select this and we have two different options to backup. Either we can do it as a daily backup or we can do it as a weekly backup. Weekly backup, you can select which day, which specific day you want that backup to happen. And once you've done that and provided the backup time, at that specific time, the report will get backed up. And if you want that specific report in your mail, as soon as the backup is done, you just provide your email address right here. You can provide multiple email addresses as well. So as soon as the backup is done, you'll get this report in your email address directly. That's how simple endpoint management reporting feature is.
This is really insightful, Aldrin. So you can either make use of the reports which are already available in Synano, or you can custom create your own reports. So I think we are done with the scenarios of today's session and we are into the question part now. So any questions, please to raise it to us and we'll be happy to take it up. And we have a handful of questions here and let us quickly take a look at them. So Aldrin, the first question for you is how Synano endpoint management is different from a traditional RMM tool. Interesting.
Yes, that's interesting. Well, Sentinel Endpoint Management supports the major endpoint monitoring and management capabilities right now. Along with this, we have a suite of security compliance and risk management features integrated into our solution, which I just showed you. However, we don't offer remote control or a RMM capability yet at the moment, but it is definitely there in our product roadmap, and we can definitely expect that sometime in the near future.
So yes, you can stay tuned with us and you can expect this feature in the near future. So the next question here for you is, does Synanov agent has access to all the files in the endpoint?
Well, I do get this question very often. Actually, Synano access is restricted only to reading the metadata of files. We will never be able to read or fetch the content from the files which are present in your endpoints.
Thank you, Alvin. So as Synanov provides security to other endpoints, we want to say we are secured as well. So let us move on to the next question. What about the continuous monitoring capability of endpoint management?
Well, we support a huge number of monitoring checks which can be implemented on a requirement basis, as I showed you. We are already developing this venue for continuous monitoring, and you can definitely expect that as well in the future.
That's nice, Alvin. So the next question we have is, do we still need an antivirus in our network?
Well, yes, antivirus is needed alongside with Sentinel to secure your endpoints. And Sentinel will always help you monitor the antivirus to see if it's installed or if it's updated and if it's kept and if it's running on time, as I showed you a little while ago.
That's nice, Alvin. So the next question we have for you is, does Sena now endpoint management integrate with other external software repositories?
Uh, no, not exactly. So we do have our inbuilt repository from which we have over 100 applications, and we also allow administrators to manually upload their software packages. And for every account, we give yeah, exactly, we give 5 GB storage so they can upload their software packages there. But no, we do not allow the administrators to connect to an external software repository at the moment.
Okay. So let us see the next question. Is there a way to access registry settings from Sena now?
Well, yes, we do have an option for that, Dikshita. Let me just show you quickly. So again, if you go into say now actions option, you have an option called registry, and this option is available only for Windows because of course registry is available only for Windows. So you will have an option to add, modify, or delete a registry entry. All you have to do is select the option and select the respective key hive, and the data can be provided right here. And you can select the device and you can go ahead and deploy it to the endpoints. And again, you can enforce it as a rule always.
That's nice. And another question we have here for you is, can we delete a file in an endpoint using Synapse?
Oh, yes, we do have an option for that as well. Let me just show you. Yeah, my screen is still shared. Let me show how it's done. So here under actions, we have an option called file. Here we have an option to delete a file or quarantine a file. So you just have to enter the path, select the device, and you have to select the scheduling options, and the agent will go ahead and delete the file. And we have another option in Windows to quarantine a file. In case you don't want to delete the file, but you don't want the end users to access the file at any point, you can go ahead and select the quarantine option and given the file path, and then you can deploy it to the endpoints. And we provide this file changes option for all platforms. Here, if you select Linux or Mac, you do have different options from deleting a file to changing the ownership or permission of the file as well. You just have to select the required option, put in the file path, select the devices, and send it to the endpoints. That's as simple as that, Dikshita.
That's nice, Alvin. And we have a very detailed question next, and I think Manish can help us answer this. Manish is one of a senior product architect, and he'll be taking up this question.
Yes. Yeah.
Hi, Manish. Yeah. So the question here is, in this scenario where you need to restrict users to install specific software, is there a standard list available which categorizes the applications based on their functionality? Example, gambling, games, etc. Rather than searching individual applications, it would be nicer to choose the installed applications based on the category. So please let us know if that functionality is available. Also, could you please explain the scenario of whitelisting and blacklisting applications via endpoint management? It's a very detailed question, and I
Sure.
hope Manish can answer it for us.
Yeah. So, coming to the grouping of applications and choosing it for blocking it or taking any action on it. So right now we don't have that facility of grouping or tagging just a group of applications, and that is not there right now for EM. And coming to the blacklisting and whitelisting, even that also not part of EM. So that is included in the solution, but it is available in the asset management tool. So I think we'll be having a session related to that in the near future.
Yeah. So as Manish mentioned, blacklisting and whitelisting applications is a part of our asset management application. So we'll be covering in detail about asset management in our next module. And we will send across the data sheets for you so that you can review it and take a look at what we have in store for the asset management module, sir. So I think we are done with the questions for today. And now we are in the most exciting part of today's session. That is the announcement I mentioned in the initial part of the webinar. We are very happy to announce that we are creating a new paradigm for security, risk, and compliance. That is, SENANOV 5.0 is coming. This is one of the most long awaited feature of a product portfolio, and we are very happy in releasing it. So, as many of you might already know, Now Cyber Hygiene platform is one of the first in the market solution to combine all of security, risk, compliance, and endpoint management under one umbrella. So, that is using Now, you can easily manage assets, manage endpoints, scan, detect assets, prioritize, and remediate vulnerabilities, patch any applications of software, harden system configurations, and abide to popular compliance management laws, including HIPAA, PCI, ISO, and NIST. And we also have the EDR capabilities in house in Sena now. So, in this upcoming 5.0 release, we are extending our vulnerability assessment capabilities to network devices. That is, we are going to offer a comprehensive vulnerability management on all IP enabled devices, that is, starting from scanning, detection, assessment, prioritization to remediation of all endpoints and network devices can be handled in Sena from the 5.0 release. So in our 5.0 release, along with the vulnerability assessment for network devices, we also have numerous enhancements coming in other modules as well. This is going to be an interesting and an exciting release for us, and we hope it would be the same for you as well. So stay tuned with us and we will soon keep you posted with the release information and the date of release. And do let us know your feedback on Senanov 5.0 release. And if you have any future requirements, please do mail it to us and we will be happy to include it in our product roadmap. And thank you once again for joining this session, and we are really happy to have you on board. And do stay tuned with us for the next webinar, which is going to be on the asset management modules. And we're also going to have a webinar on what are the features in the Senanov 5.0 modules and about the vulnerability assessment capabilities extended to the network devices. Stay tuned with us, and once again, thank you for joining this session.